The Boogeyman legend is a widely recognized figure in folklore, depicted as a mythical creature used by parents to instill discipline and caution in children. Defined as an amorphous entity, the Boogeyman takes various forms across cultures, often embodying parents' fears and societal norms. Its primary purpose is to serve as a cautionary tale, warning children of the consequences of misbehavior or venturing into forbidden territories. This concept holds significant weight in the tapestry of dark history and lore, representing the ways in which fear has been historically leveraged as a tool for control and obedience. The Boogeyman's significance in folklore is multifaceted. Beyond a mere bedtime story, it reflects cultural anxieties and historical context unique to each society. For example, in Spain, El Coco is known for snatching disobedient children away, while the sack man in Latin America is said to carry misbehaving kids off in a sack. These examples highlight the Boogeyman's role as a universal symbol of fear, shaping behavioral expectations across generations. In modern times, this legend has evolved into a figurative tool, often invoked to emphasize the unseen dangers lurking in society, from strangers to risky behaviors online. Supporters of the Boogeyman concept argue its effectiveness as a cultural touchstone with educational value. It serves as a narrative device for instilling moral values and societal rules, helping to reinforce boundaries in developmental years. However, this approach is not without controversy. Critics suggest that invoking fear can be psychologically damaging, potentially fostering anxiety rather than understanding. Some argue that it reflects outdated methods of parenting and discipline, urging a shift towards positive reinforcement. Additionally, the concept of the Boogeyman is not without its challenges and alternative views. Its universal yet diverse portrayals across cultures can lead to a complex web of interpretations, sometimes making it difficult to separate the myth from cultural and ethical implications. Furthermore, the evolution of the Boogeyman in literature and media has shifted its portrayal from a fearsome force to a more introspective examination of societal fears and child psychology. Ultimately, understanding the Boogeyman legend offers critical insights into the broader narratives of fear and control in human history. This concept connects to other aspects of dark history by illustrating how tales of terror have been used to influence behavior and maintain societal norms, showcasing the enduring power and adaptability of ancient folklore in contemporary contexts. The Boogeyman stands as a ubiquitous figure in folklore, a frightening embodiment used by various cultures to instill caution and discipline in children. The concept of the Boogeyman often lacks a singular identity, varying widely in appearance and personality across different regions. However, its core essence remains the same, a mythical monster used to enforce moral behavior. The significance of exploring the origins and early depictions of the Boogeyman lies in understanding how this lore reflects societal values, fears, and the universal need to create narrative tools for socialization and control. One early depiction can be traced back to the Boogeyman in England, a creature known to hide in dark places or under beds, ready to snatch misbehaving children. Another example is the Bootsman from German folklore, a shapeshifter that takes on terrifying forms to scare children into obedience. These early depictions emphasize the role of the Boogeyman as a tool for imposing societal norms and fear of consequences on younger generations. There are varying opinions regarding the psychological impact of the Boogeyman on children. Some suggest that such narratives are beneficial, helping children distinguish between right and wrong and fostering obedience and caution. Others argue that the fear instilled by the Boogeyman can lead to anxiety and a skewed perception of danger, potentially causing more harm than good. This divergence in opinions highlights the challenges and controversies surrounding the use of fear-based tales in child-rearing practices. Moreover, obedience and caution. Others argue that the fear instilled by the Boogeyman can lead to anxiety and a skewed perception of danger, potentially causing more harm than good. This divergence in opinions highlights the challenges and controversies surrounding the use of fear-based tales in child-rearing practices. Moreover, a challenge in analyzing the Boogeyman's origins lies in its transformation over time. As societies evolve, the Boogeyman adapts, reflecting contemporary fears and evolving societal values, often becoming a medium for addressing anxieties about crime, war, or other societal pressures. The concept of the Boogeyman connects deeply to the broader theme of dark history and lore by illustrating how cultures create myths to explain the unexplainable and enforce social norms. It influences other aspects of the topic by demonstrating the powerful role of storytelling in shaping cultural and moral landscapes. Thus, by delving into the origins and early depictions of the Boogeyman, we uncover a rich tapestry of cultural history that reveals much about human psychology and the universal need for storytelling as a tool for social cohesion and control. The concept of cultural variations around the world, in the context of the boogeyman, refers to the diverse interpretations and representations of this mythical figure across different cultures. The boogeyman is typically a creature or spirit invoked by adults to scare children into good behavior. However, his characteristics and stories vary widely depending on cultural context, reflecting local fears, norms, and histories. This point is significant because it highlights the universal nature of folklore and myth as tools for societal regulation while showcasing unique cultural expressions and psychological insights. For example, in many Hispanic cultures, the El Coco is a figure similar to the boogeyman, often depicted as a ghostly monster that targets misbehaving children, inspiring fear through nursery rhymes or lullabies. In contrast, in Scotland, the bogey is a creature that haunts marshes and is less about disciplining children and more about explaining mysterious disappearances in the misty landscapes. These examples illustrate how the boogeyman adapts to different cultural landscapes, assuming a role that aligns with local values or natural environments. Opinions supporting this idea argue that these variations are invaluable for understanding cultural identity and collective consciousness. Folklorists and psychologists note that such myths can provide insight into the fears and values of societies, acting as a mirror to cultural histories and social dynamics. However, there are challenges and controversies surrounding the interpretation of these myths, especially regarding the line between harmless folklore and psychologically harmful fear tactics. Critics argue that perpetuating such myths can sometimes instill unnecessary anxiety in children, leading to a culture of fear. Additionally, some alternative viewpoints suggest that the boogeyman myth has evolved beyond mere cautionary tales, becoming a figure of cultural storytelling that encourages creativity and imagination in children rather than just fear. This concept connects to other aspects of the boogeyman's dark history and lore by illustrating how myths evolve and adapt, serving different functions in different societies. It influences discussions on the purpose of scary stories, whether as methods of control or as rich narratives contributing to cultural identity. Through exploring cultural variations, we gain a deeper understanding of the boogeyman's enduring legacy and its impact on diverse cultural psyches. The symbolism and psychological interpretations of the boogeyman delve into how this mythical figure operates not just as a character used to scare children, but as a significant cultural and psychological phenomenon. At its core, the boogeyman symbolizes the universal fear of the unknown and embodies the anxieties and moral lessons of societies across different cultures. The character is often used by parents as a tool for instilling discipline, warning children of the consequences of misbehavior. This symbolic use taps into the deep-seated human tendency to personify fear and danger, making the book and embodies the anxieties and moral lessons of societies across different cultures. The character is often used by parents as a tool for instilling discipline, warning children of the consequences of misbehavior. This symbolic use taps into the deep-seated human tendency to personify fear and danger, making the boogeyman a powerful mechanism for conveying societal values and norms. The significance of the boogeyman in relation to its dark history and lore pivots on its ability to serve as a mirror, reflecting human emotions and cultural values. In many ways, the boogeyman represents a collective shadow, encompassing fears that society prefers to keep hidden. This character can also be interpreted as a psychological archetype, representing the primal fear of chaos and disorder. A compelling example of the boogeyman's symbolism is found in Luis Buñuel's film The Exterminating Angel, where guests find themselves inexplicably unable to leave a dinner party. This fear of being trapped resonates with the boogeyman's role as a captor of children's imaginations. Another example is the legend of El Coco in Spain, a ghost-like monster that warns children to behave. These examples highlighted how the boogeyman is used to address universal fears and anxieties. Psychologists like Carl Jung have suggested that characters like the boogeyman serve as manifestations of the shadow archetype, which represents the unconscious, repressed elements of the human psyche. This idea supports the view that these figures are not just external threats, but are internal reflections of our deepest fears. While many appreciate the boogeyman's role as a cultural teaching tool,